Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Always Believer. How's it going? It's Go to Fly Wednesday. I'm back. It's season 2. Some point of life. It's season 2. Um, and yeah, I am super duper excited. Okay. You all know me. I get excited for everything. I'm a big kid, and I love every single of our guests. But this one in particular came across my TikTok feed because of course, freaking TikTok. We have a lot of TikTok stars, I think, this season, and for different, like, you all do different things. But anyways, you popped up, and without further ado, today's guest is Morgan. Hi, Morgan.
Let's freaking go. I oh like
Morgan Copeland.
this feels weird, okay? Just as a person who like watches people do podcasts or whatever, and then I've always been a person who felt like she has nothing to say. Like I'm like
Oh, believe me, honey, you have tons to say. That's why you caught my eye.
off with like I feel it feels crazy only because like just like sharing and being able to talk to you and be vulnerable, and we're all these people, and we're all on different paths, but like on our spiritual journey. Do people just know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a spiritual journey though, right?
Oh yeah,
Here.
most of our Team Flyer audience has been prepped beyond words for years.
Because like that's a big part of it. It's like half the time you feel like you're trying to defend yourself, or you're trying to get people to understand you. So I think I like had to come to terms, I was talking to myself where I was like, I'm excited, and I know that everyone here, like, you don't need to explain yourself, just say what you got to say, you know.
Exactly, and just go with the flow, and that's something that caught my eye because what was beautiful about you is that you went from who you were before, you shed all of that, and we've seen you grow. We've seen you like read these books and things like that. For me, whoever knows me, and you might, our Team Flyer knows me quite well by now. I grew up with these kind of things. We talk about these things. Every single interview that we had in season 1 last year, it was all about kind of that storyline of spirituality and getting to know oneself and bettering ourselves and bettering our future and things like that. So to see someone like you who is so like energetic and upbeat and full of life and just like wants to like share the information, and at the same time you're like, I don't know what I'm sharing, but I'm sharing it. And I'm like, that's the effing attitude. Like, that's
Yeah,
exactly what the world needs.
I know. And it's crazy because I've always been like this, and it's funny because I didn't. Hey, can I go really quickly tell my mom to lower it?
Yeah, of course.
1 second.
Of course, Team Flyer, this is live in action, and that's a lot with Morgan. If you ever see her TikToks, I swear she's just like, literally, it comes out whatever comes out of her mouth wherever she is, usually in the car, but sometimes in her backyard with her dogs as well. And she's very, very um improvised and very natural and very real. And she's back. So here we are.
All right, I went and told the lady to simmer down in there. Jeez.
Exactly. We both have background noise. I think I usually have a little bit more. My audience, our lovely Team Flyer, knows I still live with a lot of people, family members. There's dogs you can't control barking, so hopefully usually most episodes we're like, I'm recording, but they're dogs.
You hear Charlie Brown going to town. Come on. And I'm glad you said that. Come here.
And
It's
she also has dogs, of course. I think this also reminds me of like the episode last year with Lorraine Cladish. Cladish, I always change her name. C. Laddish, that her dogs also started barking because of and like a package arrived or something. I'm like,
yeah,
it's fine. It's life.
barking because I'm not paying attention. It's like, nah, listen, I love you, but
But give me an hour. I'm recording something.
like, love you freaking so much. But and sometimes I don't even notice. It's so funny because when I used to do YouTube videos back, like, I can't wait to start, but I'm excited to see like where I want to do it. And you know what's even funny? I know I just went into so many topics, but because I was talking about the freaking dog. But my favorite thing about this is, you have all these impulses. You start to, because you realize that that's what you've been getting them for your whole life, right? Like, the universe has been talking to you your whole life. It's just that we didn't take it as like, oh, like, this was an impulse because we were somehow, but we never were really connected, because I was just always in my head. Or yeah, no, So anyway, I know this is
Always
so
in your head. I completely agree. Let's
yeah.
actually dive into that a little bit more. So what were you doing before? What are you doing now? Like tell us a transition period, please. So
This
like
is so
our
crazy.
team flyer finally understands because your audience knows and you grew quite a bit of an audience overnight basically. But let us know about more about you.
Okay. Gosh, I don't even know how to. What is that? What a question. Because like I genuinely have. It's like, how do you start with someone who has no idea? So basically, I just. What do I want to share? Like basically, I just grew up. Oh my gosh, how do you say like like here? This is so funny because I don't know how to say where I am. I'm just like it all makes sense that I'm here now. But yeah, I grew up in a town. I'm still in this town, and I grew up in a divorced household. So I think the only kind of, let's say, a lot of shadow work that I have to work on is it has to do with like I'm just such a people pleaser, and it wasn't about people pleasing, or it wasn't about getting the approval or caring what like random people thought. It was just always about like my family and my friends. It was like I needed to be, you're always trying to, I don't, it's 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 crazy. It's crazy how far I've come with just realizing, oh shit, like I guess I just never realized I was my own person growing up. And I definitely had no idea who I was in high school. I grew up in high school, I had no idea. So like, but which is crazy is the whole time I was like pretending to be, or what am I trying to say? I guess I didn't even know. I didn't know there was anything. You were just in this conditioned way of thinking. So you were just
Exactly. Because that was the
about
main
what
point of it. It's not like, how old are you? What did you do? Where you're from kind of deal. It's more like the conditioning. You were kind of stuck in that like 9 to 5 job that you didn't really like, or like in that kind of anxiety mode. And just recently you kind of made the switch, didn't you? So like walk us through that.
walk you. Um, but yeah, but also in high school, it didn't have to do with the job. I just didn't know who I was, and that's why it's such a big important thing we got to start with our kids young, all high school was about with to me and most of the people I was around. It was like you were just this person who everybody you would go around these certain people, and you would act in the way you didn't even realize you didn't. I didn't even. I'm gonna stop saying you as if everyone, but I'm gonna start saying me because my experience. But I didn't even realize that I had no. I knew it because I knew that I was like, you just think this is how life is. You just think it's supposed to be. You're just supposed to be comparing, and then you're supposed to be. You just think that this is how life is, and then recently you go through fucking something like this, and it's insane. And the reason why I'm just so, and I was on TikTok, like I just randomly started just doing random things. I love music, so I just kind of started dancing and doing everybody. I never really said anything. I never felt like I had something to say. I had no idea who I was. I was like, what do I have to offer? I know I am Morgan. I know like I'm like outgoing, but I also know I wasn't like I wasn't strong. I really was very scared of people because it was all about what they thought of me and what I know, and I was always able to read. So I like just I felt people and I knew what they were feeling and I picked up on everything and I just let everything. Ugh, it's just funny. It's crazy how far I come, especially when you talk about it, because it's like this whole life has just brought me to where I am. So where do you even start? But I'm excited. Like I'm just here and I started on TikTok just doing random stuff. You just have to start. You have no idea. Like share or you have no idea, but if you know that you kind of, I think a lot of people who share on like as creators, like we're all alike a lot because we have this thing in us that we want to like a lot of people are like, holy shit, like I'm glad I watched, and this is what we're going through over here. Or can I zoom this around? They love in the Aquafina bag, like the
Oh my goodness,
hey,
Kitty.
I appreciate the I don't feel lonely in here and I'm thankful. Um oh, absolutely not. All right, I love you. But
Oh, your little
so
kitty cat.
the reason it's crazy because I would have never been like, oh my gosh, like my thing, like growing up, I just loved being kind to others. It was so, and I loved it. I was just always, but then, then I had to realize, holy shit, like I started by realizing that the way I am with others isn't healthy. Being a people pleaser isn't. It's not good for anyone. If we can just fucking stop trying, you were too busy trying to love others, and we're not even, I didn't even realize loving yourself was a true thing. I was just kind of like, oh, you just are confident. And then, like whatever. But I didn't really know. Oh my gosh, I just didn't know. You just don't know who you are.
Not
You
at
just
that
don't
age.
know who you are. No, but a lot of people, if you don't know who you are, you don't know who you are. And you don't realize that you're just thinking you know who you are. Once you realize that you're this fucking source, like, and then that's what it is. But then you're also like, you're on this earth because you are uniquely you. So the fact that we are seeing these people that we're just comparing, and we're not wanting to be ourselves because we don't. But if we all just be ourselves, and we all just truly say, hey, just be you, and that, like, it's just, oh my God, I can just imagine, like,
There's space for everybody. There's literally space for absolutely
every
everybody. And what you said earlier, like just start. I mean, that's the first thing I always tell, my ex-clients at this point already, but also Team Flyer and everyone who knows me. I'm like, just start. But I want to start a podcast. I don't know where. I'm like, just start. Literally. I want to do a TikTok, or I want to do YouTube and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I want to have like, my own I don't know, bakery. I'm like, just start.
dude. And it's because I guess the thing I would say about it is, I started, and then you don't, and then you're kind of like, you don't really know what the fuck you're just doing.
But you
You
never know.
don't
Like you
know
never
it.
know in life. There's no guidelines, sorry, for life. So like, and we're all on different paths. So my truth, my journey looks completely different than yours, and that's the way it's supposed to be as well.
Versus going,
So
it works out. Do start just fucking going with it. Start just doing the things that you love. And then the universe is not going to put someone who has there. You're just going to start finding those people as you're doing your thing. And then somehow you're going to keep growing. And then you're going to go through the phase of outgrowing people because you're starting to realize who you are more. But like with TikTok, dude, I was posting random shit, and then I like 2 months into it, but that's a long time to not really know exactly what you're doing, and to be like, oh my gosh, you just have to be having fun, because you don't really, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was posting like, trendy, like a lot of trendy things, but like not adding a twist, just kind of like dancing in the back. And then I'm like, who, like, and I knew, I was like, oh my gosh, but something keep put me to this app. And then one day I just remember getting my phone and putting it, I was in my car and I put it over there. And then I started talking. Wait, is this going to be a thing where I'm going to like just start screaming at y'all and like saying whatever the freak I want to? Literally, if we all can just be our true authentic selves, which are like, we're just like, I look like, I'm just like, we're all so different, but like, how amazing, like truly. But you don't really understand that unless you like realize that the differences, we can all learn from each other. It's not like, oh, you're different. Like, even if it's something that you want, like, it's beautiful to like finally let go of the mind egoic way of looking at it. Like you kind of get jealous, or you kind of like, you kind of want to, like, you're kind of like, about them or whatever. But like, if you just see everyone, you're like, wow, like that's a beautiful trait that she has. Like, I can't wait to learn from that. Or I'm like, that's literally your true essence. Just that's how your true essence looks at everything. It looks like
exactly.
there's no fucking groups. We've fucking divided us with these groups where you're either this or that or this or that. And it's no, it's either you're aligned with who you are or you're not.
Period.
Are you? Period.
Literally, period.
You're
That's it.
not,
You're either awake or asleep.
not just a man. You're not just gay. You're not just this or that. Like, with all these things, all of these different groups have made us real, like, look at each other. And so now we know, now that you've identified yourself with a group, you look at them and you have this idea. You're like, oh, what you believe in. But if we just all are just ourselves, and we all just realize that we are all just this source energy, and or you're just, yeah.
Yeah. So all this coming from you, a woman who said at the beginning, like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say. You kept saying, I'm like, no, you do. You do. You have plenty to say,
Yeah.
without a doubt. How do you, I want to talk a little bit more about your TikToks, because you do talk a lot in your car, but also, like I said previously, you talk in your backyard, you talk wherever you feels right for you. It's
Yes.
always lots of fun to see. And you see a lot of your pets as
I,
well,
I,
your doggos.
I
And
always bring, like, they're always with me, but I always make sure because I love seeing people's pets in there just doing whatever. And you know what's so funny is I love it. I do it on purpose, but I'm also like I wasn't I never am too focused on what was going on. So y'all will always point out like people would just point out like, hey, oh, that's funny. Your cat was just choking in the bag and I didn't notice because I'm over here about how I just did a push up and what did I say? Like I just
Exactly. It's like,
yeah,
oh, they're just flowing as well.
yeah, for sure.
The same thing happens with my kid. I mean, he comes in and out, but I think there's been some episodes we've recorded that he's been like around as well. So it's, I don't know. So I
Oh
get
my,
it.
did you start season one?
What, sorry?
When did you start season one? Was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year. We started January 15th and I finished October 28th, I want to say. We did 77 episodes. I just rolled with it. It was one of those
Yeah.
seasons that I was like, I'm going to start, I'm going to go with the flow kind of deal. And
Yeah.
then throughout that, COVID 2020 aside, of course, and all health issues aside, business wise, I created Latina, which is another podcast, which is inclusivity basically, because I'm a little bit of a mix.
Yeah.
People already knows I was born in Venezuela, raised in the States, then I moved to Europe, especially Spain. So my accents really mixed up my personality traits, to call them something. It's just really, it's a like a potpourri bag kind of, you know what I mean? It's like
You're you, dude.
so we created Latina. Well, I created Latina with my business partner, and I came up to her and I was like, you know what, I don't feel like from here, I don't feel like from there, like I want to do something similar, like we're just kind of unite, you know, kind of what you said, but mainly directed to like also help, you know, Central South America obviously, and things like that. So that's lots of fun. That's a big project. I'm doing a lot behind the scenes. And if that wasn't enough, at some point of summer, I started a podcast and a community, a horror community with my husband because he loves horror. And I just was like, let's do this thing. And I was like helping him along. So
Heck,
yeah,
um,
I ended up
that's
doing a whole lot.
nice. And how did you get you said you had a partner or
Yeah, I have a business partner and
yeah,
my actual partner.
where'd you find your business partner? I'm like interested when people find people because that's like the best part about this journey is
The
like
best part, I
how
do agree with you. The best part of this journey is finding people and knocking on doors. I had the beautiful blessing, and the universe blessed me to interview a lot of credible people of all
yeah,
like
and you
scales.
went
I've
after
talked
you
to like
really
Mama
good.
B, which I freaking love, to people like from my community, even then some. So with my business partner, we do have a couple episodes. I kind of remember right now off the top of my head the number of the episodes, but we have two, and her name's Nastasia Sanchez, or well,
Mm.
Kaylin now. And yeah, we met online basically. She was one of my guests early on. I think I want to say February, March tops.
Nice.
And then we just connected instantly. We became really good friends. We've been friends for, at this point, right, for like, I don't know, a year and a half, I want to say, or more, probably more. And we just created the mystical, magical, wonderful
Huh,
Latina podcast.
beautiful.
Yeah, and we
That's what
also like interview a lot of people there. We have about 12 episodes, but they're like actresses and activists and writers and all sorts of like really cool, powerful Latina women making a change. So connections, knocking on doors. I
exactly.
that's
That's
how
like
I
the big
got you as well, because I was like, I'm just gonna go ask. Like you
yeah.
got the no, go for the yes.
And then you kept coming because sometimes I couldn't see it and then you just did, and a lot of people would have been like I don't want to annoy her or whatever, so I was all but like that's what I pick up like because that's how I used to think, so I'm like grateful that you just kept coming and I'm glad because
Yeah, I think energy picks up energy. So,
yep
I mean, if I know the person's a little too busy or a little bit too standoffish for whatever reason, you know, because we all have our life, then, you know, I can kind of back off. But with certain people, usually I keep on coming, not to be annoying, kind of the opposite, because energy picks up energy. So you know where the other person comes from. And it goes both ways. I've been interviewed plenty of times. I've been on plenty podcasts, both in Spanish and English. I've been in magazine covers, and I've been like, I've done a whole bunch. And you know, I'm very busy. Like if you catch me, you catch me. That's wonderful. And you have to keep coming back because energy flows.
and when we
Energy
FaceTime
attracts energy.
and you know when we FaceTimed I'm walking across this this living room and did you call or did you text? You sent the Instagram message, and I was like, if I don't call her right now, then I just forget that I saw it, and then you're in the car and then you're leaving. So as I'm trying to get all the dogs, and I got a bag in my hand because I was leaving for the weekend, like I was packed, I had you in my, and I was like, listen, we're on FaceTime now and this is perfect. And then we just ended up talking. It was perfect. I was like,
Exactly.
see, like little things like that are my favorite. I'm like, oh my gosh, like thank you for the impulse just to answer, because sometimes I can be like, I got too many things, like I can't answer. That's how I used to be, but now it's like when I know, you just know.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly. And you can
oh,
always try. I mean, like I said, I might not pick up every single time for obvious reasons, because we all have life, obviously. But at the same time, it's like you just got to get up and try.
yeah.
You already have the no, go for the yes. And
I
this
might
is,
have been nervous to do this.
you got nervous all of a sudden.
No, I said I might have also been nervous to do this, so I didn't want to get back to you.
You
But
did
then
say
we
that there
talked,
during the
like,
call, but then we called again. I'm like, girl, you do TikToks. Like, not only, the dancing kind of TikToks, like you talk.
no, and I know, and I know
You
that
go with
would
the flow.
be crazy, but it's just this thing in me that's always been like, I have nothing to say. Like, what? I don't want to sound anything, but every time it's always like, it's like, it's like, stop. That's an old narrative. You've got to get that out of your head. So, and I know that, and I know that everything just works because it's going to flow, and it does. It always flows, and I know that for sure because when I go on lives, I went on a live last night. Oh, it was so fun because me and my friend did our makeup. We looked freaking, oh, it was so fun. I had pink eyebrows, I had pink eyeliner, I had pink lips, dude. I'll send you some pictures.
Oh, please
Oh,
do.
hell yeah. I'll put some on my Instagram too because they're just like random car photos. But it was so fun. I haven't played with makeup in a minute. But then I was like, my first thing was, I want to go show my people. Like, but I didn't want to do a video. I wanted to literally go on live and be like, what the flip is up? And then, I was like, I only have 10%. I'm only going until it dies. That's always the case.
Exactly.
Wait, literally speaking of, I'm not kidding. I'm on 9%.
Of
So I'm going to,
course.
okay, but I'm glad I said that out loud because now I'm plugging you in. But no, wait, what was I saying?
You are
Oh
such
yeah, it was just fun last
a
night.
hippie
Because
kind of
going on
soul,
live,
girl.
yeah, on live, I start off and I'm like, ooh, and then you start getting the people in, and then once I start blabbling, I can't stop blabbling.
You preach. But I think life is a little bit tricky sometimes though, because you're like, what do you say? Because not like, of course, you always have something to say, and it depends if you're already kind of ready for it. But a lot of times I've seen people, it's like, I'm just here, like listening. I mean, not listening, like answering questions, things like that, which is really, really sweet. But I can understand why content creators are like, okay.
Yeah, and it's so funny though because these are all the things that would stop me from ever wanting to. It was like what if they do this and this and this, dude? If you just go with the moment will bring you, and then you'll never be put in a situation that you're not ready for. That's what it is. Like I would have been like, I would have like, what exactly 2 years ago, I'd have been like, of course I'd never be like talking on a podcast about whatever the freak I want, because I wasn't in the freaking, I didn't
Mindset,
grow. I
exactly.
didn't
You
have
didn't
two
know that
years of
just yet.
freaking growth to like realize who I am, so you've got to stop thinking about the future. You got to be where you are and keep growing where you are, and just know that that's literally all you need to do.
And be present, which is really difficult to you to be present. Like I'm an Aries, I'm fiery, and I want things done now. Mainly for me, myself, and I. Like for you, I have all the patience in the world, but for like myself, I'm just like, okay, like let's do this. I'm very, very, I'm fiery, which makes sense, obviously. And the patience that you have, first of all, but second of all, like you have to be in the moment. You know that right now you are meant to be healing, or you're meant to be working on that project, or you're meant to be just walking your dog for whatever reason at that moment for a reason. So
Yeah,
it's like it's the now. It will come.
but
Keep
then
planting the
also,
seed though. Keep planting the seed, but it will
yeah,
come.
and that's what I talked about like a lot. I didn't even know I was on like I didn't even know I was awakening. But when I but like TikTok helped me, dude. That was like the biggest thing ever. Like I feel like if I was doing this by myself and I had like one person maybe come up to me, I feel like it would have worked out too. But like I don't get how people like I would have been like, okay, whatever, weirdo, I'm going on But I had all these people. They were like, I was talking about the present moment a lot. I start reading Eckhart out of nowhere, or no, I didn't read Eckhart yet. I literally got told by everyone. Everyone's like, Morgan, you're going on a spiritual like you're like, I think you're on this, and people would message me, and then you're just like, what is happening? What is? I thought I was just starting to enjoy life, and then this,
It's
like
like, no,
everyone
you're
starts
going.
somewhere different though. Like some people like they're like about to like some people are like depressed as hell when like they're at the bottom of the bottom when they come to it. Some people took a mushroom and they came to it. Some like everyone does, but mine was just like I started just starting to do what I liked. And then it started being like, oh, you don't realize that like you're about to literally create your own reality,
Yeah,
baby.
exactly. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's like, but every day gets more beautiful, especially
It
when you
does. And I can't wait to see you grow even more just in general. And you also asked me for tips and tricks, and we haven't had, as of today, at least at the time of this recording, we haven't had enough time to like talk behind the scenes and like tell you a bunch more tips and tricks, of course. It's just it's really that. It's that spiritual awakening that when you see someone going through it, you're like, that's so beautiful. It's just the way that you're just like flawlessly yourself all the time. And you say what's on your mind. Like, period.
yeah.
Like let's just say this today. Let's see what happens. How did that feel for you? Like not only growing your TikTok because you're like, oh my god, not even TikTok famous, like not that kind of aspect of it, but the aspect of having that community and like, you know, starting to
Right.
have the kind of people that you want in your life, like attract, like I said before, energy attracts energy. Because thanks to those videos, you're here with me today, for example.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Exactly. It feels mm, it feels unreal because I didn't, it's like you think you don't even know what you want. We think we know what we want, and then it's like, no, you really wanted like it's like you wanted your people, but like this is the outcome of your like this is what you really wanted. You wanted people, and you the whole life you didn't really know what you want. And then, like I'm telling you, these y'all freaking came out of freaking nowhere. Y'all are like, oh my gosh, this is you doing it. And you're just doing it raw. And it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just telling y'all what I'm thinking. And they're like, yeah, you're thinking, keep thinking, or keep not thinking, keep controlling that mind. And not it was just so much reassurance. That's all it was. And I kept saying, like, I hate that, like I can't imagine how lonely it can feel like from someone who like has no one that literally has any. So I'm just like over here just what do you mean I make a video I'm like I'm fucking grateful for you guys and I just have nothing else to say and that's all I want to say and
That's
that's
all.
what I'm gonna say, damn it. Like straight up it's just like it's like the most it's like what is going on and I'm just it's so freaking amazing. This is not what I ever this is
It's just the
it's
big.
just
First of
I
all, it's
don't
just
even
the
know.
beginning. It's just the beginning because
It's
you're
the
gonna
I am
continue.
23. I
Girl,
am
please.
23. That's what I say like every morning. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm going through this at like some people never do. Some people do in fucking 50. A lot of people do it when they're like halfway in the life. I'm like, and I am 23. I am like, what I'm gonna do great things. I'm like, let's fucking go. It's just and I have no and if I really just like sit, it's honestly it doesn't make like the amount I've like just accomplished in growth in a month when I would have just been sitting at a desk. I went back for a day. I basically went and substituted and I was like ready for them. It felt like a lifetime since I'd seen them and they were like, Morgan, it's been like three weeks. And I'm like, I feel like I've been everywhere and I've seen so many and I've had so many great conversations and all this. And all of that's happened when you fucking get you just have to get yourself out of you gotta untrap yourself like
I
it's
love that.
life
You
is
got to untrap
beautiful.
yourself. Exactly. You gotta set
It's
yourself
so
free.
you gotta set yourself free and I hate the biggest thing I hate when people call me a free spirit. I'm like you don't understand, this is in all of us, this is all of us. But that's like the worst thing when they say that because it's like
Oh
fuck.
gosh, I hear that a lot. When I also like towards the free spirit, I'm like, that's all of us. You
I
just choose to do
know,
so or not to do so, basically. But that's definitely all of us.
straight up, straight up.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there's so much I want to ask, and then it's like because we keep going on like different tangents because of course we're having a conversation. So I was like,
And
wait
so
a
that's why
second.
I said please don't have a plan because I don't know what that means.
That's
And what's
also
funny is I used
true.
to live by them. I used to be the checklist motherfucker. Like the plan, like I had to plan it all that night. I was like, nights were miserable because you're planning out your day tomorrow. And then, oh my gosh, I cannot believe. It's just, I keep saying I cannot believe, but I believe it. I know what's happening and I cannot believe, like, this is what life is about. This is what life is, where you can literally just go with the flow. You don't need to actually, the reason why you're going chaotic is because you don't need to be fucking planning. You don't need, you just need to, like, and then once you realize that, then you start even growing more and getting more knowledgeable. And then it's like, oh my God, all you need to do is sit with yourself. You need to talk to this universe. You need to manifest, but then get off of the manifest and get
Exactly.
off of that manifestation and then literally start doing things you love and then start manifesting more things while you've already manifested. The universe understands. Now you just need to keep enjoying life while manifesting other things and realizing all the things you can literally have if you literally just keep having fun and get out of your own fucking way. And it's hard because we've been conditioned, but we have to, it's all about our thoughts. Literally, once
We've
you
been
realize
conditioned
that
since we
you are
were
the
kids,
reason
which is
why
insane.
you are the reason. So it's like, it's kind of like a tough thing to realize, but once you like really realize, it's like, no, this is like the funnest thing to realize. Okay, all we do. And then once you just keep getting that momentum, it's not going to be easy at first because your thought pattern is so far, the momentum is going so far on, I'm not worth it, I hate myself, what, life is stupid, like I'm irritated all day, because of course you're irritated all day because you think all of these things and I don't have enough money and blah blah blue. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yesterday, 2 days ago, I wish I could share the things I love to share the most are like the little things that happen that people are like, well, I don't see it or hear it or I don't see, understand it, but they don't understand. Like, it's so, you have to feel it. You have to feel that the universe is literally working on it, but you have to just stop thinking of all the things that the universe, like, you just have to really know. And when you really know, you're like, oh my gosh, we are literally just, it's a fun ass game. Like, literally, where we're just, but it's like the funnest. It's like we're literally growing, and then we literally have the universe here, and it's like, and then, dude, you're gonna, it's it's crazy.
I love how you said that, the way you explained it, because it's like, oh my God, you don't have to plan everything. Exactly. Like, you're planning a life. It could be a week, it could be a month, it doesn't matter, but it's very mundane usually. It's where like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to go and I have to do this. And you're like, no, you don't really have to do anything if you don't really feel like doing it. You don't have to go to that party. You don't have to go to the supermarket right now. You can maybe go the next day, for example, things like that. So taking from that to like the second part of what you were saying, you still have a routine though. You still work on manifesting. You still are like what's it
it's
called in
it's better than before, but without,
exactly,
you are
without the
literally
stress and
moving
the
even
chaos.
faster, but you're living so presently, and it's literally, and you know why I'm moving so fast? Because I've like created a day where literally I am able to go with the flow. So literally I just wake up and the only thing I think about is that first thing I got to do. And then I know that once you're doing everything fully while you're doing it, it's just, the universe is literally like taking you. But if you resist at all with trying to control like how the outcomes are, and how you just have to see how you're feeling. If you're not feeling, your emotions are everything, and if you're irritated, then hey, that's not how your true being is feeling about this. So hey, how are you feeling right now? Like, why are you irritated? What's going on? Talk to yourself, but then also just know, hey, like, what's going on? And then either, most of the time, you just need to get off of it. You just need to get off of that subject. You're probably pushing something to death. It's so funny, the little, like, okay, so an example of like going with the flow, and then now I'm starting to manifest, but then also impulses are coming, and then I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I can do so much. What do I do? So like I went to the woods and I started just hiking, and then I was like, okay, so I started saying out loud. I even say it to y'all, which is kind of like, I want to stop, maybe just saying like, oh my gosh, something came, because I do realize that putting out there that like, this is what I want to do, like, you don't really, like, that's an awesome idea, but you don't really, it's so funny, but it's exciting. I'm not thinking too much about it because it's my life, and I get like everything, like, that's why you can't really have a plan until you like know. And let me just give you this. so then I was like, maybe I want to get in a camper and travel, you know? So then I was like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. And then I met a lot of cool people traveling, and I want to stay at state parks, blah, blah, blue. And then I went through kind of like 5 days of like going in and out of, and then I realized, oh my gosh, you are so trapped in thinking like there's something that you should be doing, or you need to do it this way, or there's this path or something. I sat down with myself, and the only question I needed to ask was, what would make me so like happy to do right now? Like, what is the, like, what is like, you know? And then of course it comes to me, like, I've been wanting to move to this place like my whole life, but like, I don't, you know, I just haven't done it. And that's the thing with most of my things. It's like, hey, you get these impulses, but this one thing is like, it's just like, and I was like, oh my God, so is that what I'm supposed to do? And so then, but instantly I got off of it, because I realized with the whole camping or whatever situation. So your first plan, and just realize that like the impulses will come. So then I was in the woods, and I got the impulse to grab my camera, and then I had the camera, and I was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to start YouTube back up, and I'll be in the woods, and I'll be like, just like sharing my life through the woods, like every time I go, and I can just share like what I'm learning or whatever during my spiritual journey. And so then I was like, okay, that sounds cool, you know. But then I just kept going. But then I started thinking about too much, and I was like, oh my God, is this what's supposed to be the next? What do I do next? But then I had to just realize, okay, so you're kind of going crazy of like indecision and what to do. So then I think the best thing for you to do right now is, hey, so you know that when you really are aligned, this is when the insights and the impulses come. You know, it's supposed to be easy. So if it's going kind of, if it's not, if you're kind of having to like, you're feeling like, scatterbrain, take it easy. Go on those walks. You're going to find, just if you truly believe in all of these impulses and all these random insights and all these, you go on meditation and then you come out and you're blah, 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 of course. And so then, but then, okay, so then, so then the reason why I was kind of scatterbrained is I was excited about this YouTube video, but then the memory card broke. So then literally I was like, okay, there was nothing. The memory card broke. When I put the memory card, I was like, oh my God, I even rewatched the footage, and I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. It was cool. It was just like, oh my God, I'm back on YouTube. You just have to like start or whatever. And then the memory card broke, and I was like, okay, so that's what I wasn't supposed to, you know. You just see, you're just like, okay, that just didn't work out. And then you don't get to, you're like, oh my God, life is, nothing's for me, everything is for you. So that's just
Everything is for
something
you.
somehow you needed to learn from just knowing about an impulse. That was one of my biggest learning about like what an impulse was. When I picked up the camera, I was like, I haven't picked up the camera, and it was beautiful, so I know I want to pick up the camera, but that wasn't it. And last
That wasn't the
night,
exact timing.
and so I know that I do want to move to this place, but I have no idea what. I'm like, who, with who, by myself, with my dog, who. And then, you know, but I've been really focused on like, okay, just come up, you get the insights, but like just keep going with the flow with it. And then everything put it into place last night, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's just like everything, the connection, the person, the everything, the, oh my God, are we this just what, the answer, it's like, this is what you're gonna do. And now when you really get the answer, you're like, okay, wait, what? Like what? Like, and I mean, like, it's happening soon. Like what? Like, and then it's supposed to, like, what? And this is what I wanted. I think I literally asked for this, like, straight up. Like I said, this is what I want, you know? And it's not what you should do or whatever. It's literally, no, what do you want to do? You say that out loud, and it's going to, you just gotta, you gotta like know what you love, and what you have to believe in, what that, you just have to know what you love, and you have to get out of the old thought patterns of, oh my God, but then this person, what is this person going to think? Or, but like, or all of those, or this isn't like acceptable, or this. And it's like, what do you love? Manifest it out loud. Know that you just need to know the process. You need to trust. And then it's crazy.
I could have not said it
Yeah,
better myself.
I
Goodness
know.
gracious. You
And you know what? I can be I want to be real and honest right now. I keep like, even when I'm finishing sentences, I know I can be so much more better, but my mom is here, and for some reason, it's like she has no idea. I am living in this house. She has no idea because she doesn't watch my TikToks. She's always been like my person. She doesn't know what TikTok is, and she's like the biggest person who it's like. I think the day that she'll like understand, because she's very religious, and so
That's
it's like
definitely
it's
another
hard.
topic that we need
This is
to.
very, very, but like I think like I just want you to let you know, like a lot of the times when I'm like, my mom had to walk in and out, and I'm like, wow, it's like she has no idea. So like if she even hears like, oh, the universe, me, and she's like, what is she talking about there? And so that affects, but before I walked in here, I was able to be like, hey, your mom's in the other room. You can't be outside. The wind's happening. It's you know what you believe, and it's okay. That the timing and when your mom's gonna understand everything you're going through, it's just gonna happen. And for some reason that's like a big anxious thing, and it's just my mom. I think everyone in my life kind of knows because they watch my TikToks. But it's like either you're my dad, that's who I would be thinking of, my grandparents and my brothers, or my two friends who happen to be spiritual. Those are the only friends I have now because the universe brought them to me. So it's insane.
It is. I feel like I really like knowing the fact that we brought this
Are you on a
topic
meeting
up.
call?
Yeah, but I have to wait for
Oh, it's all good. We
Oh,
understand.
got it. Add that part in because like I'm excited. I definitely want to do one with you like once every week.
Yeah, definitely.
I
So
told you.
as
See, you said, let me interrupt you again, because that's what I do best. Mom, you know that to be true, right? Interrupting. Well, just like always feeling like, oh my God, but I'm gonna forget. But I've been better, right? Have I listened to you better? Do you feel like that or no?
Oh, like focusing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You feel a difference?
Yay! Who feels the
Oh,
difference with Morgan?
I love you. Okay, so that was beautiful. Like she just walked out, and like that's cool. Like I don't get to ask her those questions because I just kind of have to do me, because the biggest part of my life was me realizing that I wasn't my mom. And like she believed all these things, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to hell because that's what's happening. Like I just had so much fear based towards so many things. I didn't know who I was, who I wanted to be, because I didn't know I could have my own beliefs. It started when I realized I was my own person. That's what started me. Look, I'm able to fucking see. I'm really loud, but like I promise you. So I know I love it. This is so funny because I
Little
really am so
firecracker. I feel
loud.
like I'm gonna start calling you or something or other, because goodness. But you're like a hippie firecracker, which is even better.
Yes, hippie firecracker. And like, and remember when we were talking and you were like, yes, we can do one once a week. And so I was like, okay, don't think that. For some reason that overwhelms me. So I know what I do, what best works for me is like, let's just go with the flow. Let's just do one next week. And I even said, you were like, well, when you want to do it like Monday or two? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm going to even be in Colorado. I didn't know if I was going to be somewhere like where I was traveling, or I just didn't know. And I hate that, putting that burden on people, but I know you also need to, I'm getting better at it too, because I know who, it's just good. I love the relationship. It's good because you're my people. And I'm so glad I get to say that with people. I talked to this person who I talked to, who also is going through it with me, who might be in my life soon, that like random, but like, I'm like, the universe really does it. And
All right.
I know. Okay,
Little
I know. Oh my
firecracker.
gosh,
Hold
it's
on. Let's
time. Uh,
I know, and I love it. I feel like our beautiful listeners and just me and just anyone who experienced this episode, it's one of those like, oh, it's a roller coaster, but it's a really good roller coaster, because you can totally tell where you were like a little bit nervous, a little bit more tense, a little bit more carefree, a little bit like, oh, I'm here kind of vibe.
and I
Of
told
course.
you, I was up front. I told you it was because my mom was in the other room,
Well, which
and
is
I know she was
good,
on
which
her
I love that.
call.
I love that you brought it up as well. Like we have so many things and beautiful ideas to talk about, and we're definitely going to continue. We're talking the details, off the record, of course, or not off the
This
record,
is
but
so
like because we're still recording, we're still in the
fun.
episode, and she's like, "Oh my god!"
This
But
is
of
so
course,
fun.
all right. So So before we finish this episode, where can we find you?
Oh geez, I don't even know them.
Oh,
So
of course you do.
just get me
TikTok.
on TikTok, and I think it's Morgan. Um, hold on, I know. Oh, bad. That's really bad. I think I'm just blank. I don't
I
remember.
think it's your name,
So
but don't worry, we'll
Morgan
tag you down below.
Yes, she's gonna tag me and my Instagram.
Exactly.
I know I think, oh my gosh, I know it. Morgan Copeland 7
Yes.
because I changed them all. It's either Morgan _78, Morgan in. I'm like, Morgan, you really did it to, you really did this to yourself. But like, yes, it's just me. It's just me being me. So if
Exactly.
you
It's
like
just
me, I
Morgan
don't, that's
Copeland.
it. That's
So,
it.
same on IG, and your TikTok is linked anyhow, but still, I'll definitely tag you down below. And you and me got plenty of business for Team Flyer. So with that all being said, we can finish this episode. And thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for being here, of course. And we'll talk to all of you really soon.